You caught me eating a Rolo. Today we're making a flower out of Rolos, but you can eat them. Look at the flower we're making. Let's head down to the crafting table and let's get started. The first thing you're going to need for these flowers are 6 strips of paper. And those strips of paper are 3/4 by 3 1/4. And you're going to need 6 of those. And then you're going to need one just a little bit longer. That's 3/4 by 4 1/4. And remember, all the measurements will be listed over on creativemomentsbyg.com. Now, let's go ahead and take out our silicone mat. This prevents the tape runner that we're going to use from getting all over our design table. So now we're simply going to take our 6 strips. Now, if you're using directional paper, you need to make sure that you cut it exactly in the direction that you want. These will be placed around the Rolos. Now, we are just taking a very strong tape runner. We're simply going to put it on the top side of our DSP that we've selected to go around our Rolo. And you can just go ahead and put it right on the right-hand side, one little strip. Now take your Rolos, and on your Rolos, you have 2 sides. You have the skinny side, and then you have the flat bottom. The flat bottom is going to become the top of your flower. So make sure that, turn it upside down, put the strip, about on the middle, and then form it around your Rolo. Now take the other side and stick it down to the other side. And there we have it. Now you want to go ahead and just kind of form it. You want to get it as tight as possible on your Rolo. And let's just do all 6 strips like that. Once again, we're putting it on the bottom of the Rolo. We're taking and forming it around our Rolo, bringing up the other side and just pushing it down over the tape as tightly as possible. There we have it. I'm going to take another one, and we're going to finish all 6 just like this. And you only need 6 for your flowers. So here we have our 6. I say a job well done. We have an extra one. I think we should eat it. The next thing we're going to do is take the extra strip that was 4 1/4 inches long and go ahead and lay it on your silicone mat, and we're going to put 2 strips of tape with our tape runner. Now, if you get a little bit over, this is a great tip. Just take it and move it to the front of your strip. You want to heap all that sticky goodness onto your strip of paper. And so now the next thing we're going to do is we're simply going to press each petal, each Rolo petal, down on this strip. And you want it to where the Rolo goes to the top. So it could fall out, but it won't. Put it right to the end. And then we're simply going to pick this up, and we're going to kind of slide the next one right underneath. Just a little bit, right like that, and hold it. Now, if you feel that you need a little bit of glue, you can go ahead at this point, and you could add a little bit of glue right here. If you don't trust that tape runner. Now, you can also put it down on your table, and let me get a close-up of that. And you can move it around this way as well if you wanted to, and your hands can't hold all the chocolate. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little piece of glue there just for some extra security. And I'm going to put it right like that, right up against it. And we just continue this all along the strip. Now, once again, I really like to go ahead and just give a little insurance policy and add a little bit of glue there. So I'm just going to take a little bit of glue, not much, and I'm going to add it to it. And that way you don't have to worry about it falling. Now, you're only going to do this to 5 of the Rolo petals. Only 5. I'm going to turn it, and we're going to add just a little bit of glue. Going to add this one, and there we have our petals. And now all we have to do is take this edge right here. We're going to slip it under here with just a, now you may want to go ahead and cut that off just a little bit. You never know exactly how much of a strip you need because it really depends on how tightly you can put them together. So I just cut a little bit off, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on top of that tape runner strip. Not much. And then I'm simply going to put it in just like this and put that under there just a little bit. Now you do need enough space to put your last Rolo. And the last Rolo is simply going face down, just like this. And there we have our petals. Now you're not done yet. You need to take a 1.5 inch circle, and we're going to add that to the top. Now you will need 2 of these circles. So let's go ahead and just put a dimensional right there to hold that circle. And also that's going to step it up just a little bit so that when we put our flower on top, it stands up, because you see how this sinks down? So we need to build that up with 2 dimensionals. So let's do that. Let's add our circle. And then we're simply going to fold it on its back, and we're going to add our other circle. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and put a little bit of glue here because it will work. And this holds the Rolos in so that they don't fall out, because you don't want them falling out. Now you can also, if you wanted to, put a little glue dot on the end of your Rolos right here so that they don't fall out. But for me, these circles right here hold it for me. So I'm simply going to put it right here on its back again. And I'm going to use my blends to color a sunflower. Now this sunflower is actually from the paper pumpkin that we just received. We love this sunflower stamp that comes in that. So let's go ahead and take out our blends. We're going to use Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, and Dark Petal Pink. So let's go ahead and just color this. Now you want to make sure when you're using your blends that you put down a piece of paper, because this will bleed to the other side. So that's a great tip. Make sure you have some paper down so that you don't mess up your table. And we're going to come in with that pumpkin pie and then just blend with our other colors. Now to save time, I went ahead and I cut out this sunflower with some leaves already. It's the exact same sunflower that you just saw me use my blends on. And we are simply going to bring this in and put this right on the top and then add our leaves. Now I'm going to go ahead and just use some glue and just glue it right down to this area. Stay with us because we are going to make the candy box. It's called a Matchbox that holds 3 of these beautiful flowers, and you will want to see how to make that. So let's go ahead and just add our leaves. Now I'm just going to glue them together, and then I'm just going to stick them underneath one of the petals. And look at that. Now, I also want to show you the other flowers that we put together. Here are our sunflowers that we are going to have for our Matchbox. But I want you to look at this one. How beautiful is that? We simply cut this flower out of some DSP, and look at the DSP that we used. Oh my goodness, we are ready for Christmas. And we just used our little daisy punch to cut out this daisy and added that beautiful flower in the center. Now, this is so pretty. Look at this DSP that we used. We used our daisy. We added those beautiful gems. Look at those gems. And we simply got these leaves from our stamp set Forever Fern and cut them out. And we had to do something a little different, right? So we used our Witchy Poo, which is called a bewitching stamp and punch. And look how darling that is. We used our black DSP with our purple Rolos, which is dark chocolate, by the way. It's good for you. And we punched out this beautiful little hat. Is that not adorable? Let us know in the comments below, which do you like best? The sunflowers, the rose, the daisy, or the bewitching? Let us know. So we're going to move that to the side, and we are now going to get into creating our Matchbox so that we can put these 3 sunflowers, Rolo sunflowers, into our Matchbox and present to either our family or friends during the holiday season. So what you're going to need to do, the first thing, let's go ahead and create the bottom to our Matchbox. And so you need to get a 5 by 9 1/4. So this is 5 by 9 1/4. And we're going to make some score lines on all sides. We're going to score 1 1/4. And this is going to create the bottom of our box. So let's go ahead and do 1 1/4. Making sure that you move this cutting blade out of the way, and let's go ahead and give it a really good score at 1 and 1 1/4. Turn it, score it again. On all 4 sides. And now we're going to bring in our snips because we are going to have to make a small slit on all 4 corners. And we're also going to miter the edges so that we can take some of that bulk off. So one thing you want to make sure and do, this flap is what helps square up your box. So when you cut this area right here, make sure you don't cut an edge out of this long strip. You just want to make sure that when we miter to that little box right there. So let's just cut all the way up to the score line and just cut out a V. Okay, and now let's do the next one. Let's go ahead and cut and cut a V. We're just going to miter those edges. And now we're going to bring in our tape runner. We're going to flip this over. And we are simply going to add tape to each corner right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Now it's very important that when you close these corners that you work very hard to square them up just perfectly. That's very important because otherwise your Matchbox will look off just a little and we don't want that. Now, look at the bottom to our Matchbox. So this was simply cut 9 1/4 by 5, and you scored 1 1/4 on all sides. So it makes this really nice little box that you can add your sunflowers to. Look at this. Now, you may have to put your leaves over each other, but that's okay. And look how cute that looks. And now we're simply going to create the top to our Matchbox. So take a piece of paper, and this paper is 8 1/2 by 7, and we are simply going to score 2 different score lines. So let's go ahead and bring in our trimmer again. We're going to score on the long side of our paper. So we're going to score on 1 3/4. Move it over to 3 and give yourself a good score line. And now you're simply going to turn your paper to the other side, and we're going to score at 1 3/4 and 3. And now we're going to find our crease lines. And it can be kind of hard to see because this is DSP and it has a crazy design on it, right? So find that score line, give it a good crease. Look at how it's going to fit. It's going to fit right around your box. And look at that, it becomes a Matchbox. So let's go ahead and turn it over right here and let's give it some glue right underneath. We're going to just add some glue. Or you could take it off and use your tape runner if you wanted. Now we're not done yet. Even though we've created this cute little Matchbox, we are simply now going to decorate the top. And what we did here is we took this beautiful stamp set, Christmas banner, and it has dies because we bought the bundle. And we stamped this for you and lots of love from another stamp set called Celebrating You. And remember, all the supplies and materials will be listed below the video. So we simply cut a yellow piece of paper and we're going to add this on some dimensionals. We're going to add some glue to the back of this and simply place this right in the center of your Matchbox. Now you can decorate this as much as you want to. You could add some sunflowers to the top of this. Oh my goodness, this is such a darling design. These flowers are so cute. And if you can get through a bag of Rolos and create flowers and not eat them all, well, all the better, right? So here's your Matchbox. Simply pull it out to show the beautiful sunflowers. Well, we hope you enjoyed our video today. Go out, make it a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.